Hello, I'm Shanda Wright. Good to see you. Happy Monday. So I had some really amazing experiences here in the last week, 2 weeks with a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I work with, as well as with myself. And I wanted to share with you the resources, the strategies that I use to be able to be my own best friend as I'm learning and growing. Because the truth is that when you're learning how to run, you got to first learn how to walk. When you're first learning how to walk, you have to first learn how to crawl. And when you first learn how to crawl, you're falling over a lot, right? You have to have a lot of grace for yourself when you're learning and growing. And the two biggest mistakes that I see with people when it comes to not having the life that they want, kind of settling for what they have, or not really doing anything, never getting the results that they say they want. One is that they are scared of getting got, or like being wrong, so they never start. They don't make decisions quickly. They hum and they haw. They worry about what could go wrong instead of what goes right, and they just never start. They never try anything. And the second thing that I see is the biggest mistake that most people make that keeps them from ever doing anything substantial, reaching their dreams, creating anything called a change in paradigm in their life. It's that they get distracted or they give up too soon. They start going 10 steps this way and then 10 steps this way and then 10 steps this way and then 10 steps this way. And they feel like they're always working, but they've never found that one person, that one direction, that one thing that they're doubling down on. And so they walk around being curious instead of being committed. Right? So, both of those energies don't give you the growth and you can't, if that's how trees grew, then we would never have any forests, right? So I probably should have closed that. Sorry, it'll be a little loud sometimes. I live downtown, so it's awesome. There's some street noise. I apologize. The windows are open. But I wanted to share with you. So if we're going to grow and we're going to commit and we're going to go towards something and we're not going to give up, what does that look like? How can we be gracious with ourselves? How can we be gentle with ourselves while also not settling? Because that's a balance, right? And when we make mistakes, the first step is to be honest. If you messed up or you didn't do your best or you know that you didn't execute that diligently, that's okay. First of all, we celebrate progress, not perfection. We're not expecting perfection. It's like my shooting instructor always says, if you're hitting all alphas, you're going too slow. So never, ever, ever are you supposed to be perfect because it means that you're being way too safe. You have to make mistakes. So you have to be honest with that process. And when I find most people respond, they start beating themselves up. And when they beat themselves up, it creates motivation because now the current situation they're in is painful. This is the same reason, the same mindset that creates procrastination when you've got a timeline or a deadline. So students who wait until the last minute to study, I'm talking to you too, okay? So this same energy is you need pain, you need pressure, you need that to create the intensity to go after it with intensity. And pain is more motivating than pleasure. So the opportunity to win will always be undermined by the fear of loss or the pain, right? And I realized this about myself about a year ago when Tony Robbins talked about the driving needs and about and you just analyze the things that were important to us and where you want to go. And one of the things that I wanted was success. Great, well, I had a fear of being rejected. Those two things, like you have to have. And I had fear of failure, desire for perfection. So this pain would always override my desire for success because success feels good and pain feels bad. And so I would always avoid doing the things that would create an opportunity to be rejected more so than I would create an opportunity to be successful, especially if those two things were in conflict. So when we have something negative, when we have pain, it pushes us towards something else. And it's more motivating than pleasure, than opportunity, than potential. Always. That's human nature. Again, if you think back to reptilian kind of old caveman style living, that was very much about keeping us safe and keeping the human species surviving. Now, when you're talking about learning how to make calls, then it is, hello, Ryan. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for the love and the hearts and the support. I appreciate all of you. I love chatting with you live here. We'll have to do a Q&A session one day soon. That'd be fun. And so when you're sitting there and you're trying to create that energy out of a place of self-love and out of a place of motivation, not out of a place of pressure and pain, right? Do you know how many people, when they get a big paycheck, take a day off, call in sick, spend extra, buy something, and then they have financial pressure again, and then they go back to work. Well, that's not a cycle that's going to breed anything different than the current results you have. So motivation comes from creating good pain. You can get leverage on yourself without creating situations that are painful. You don't need to have fear of losing your husband before you go and treat him well, before you create an amazing marriage. You don't have to have fear of losing your wife before you honor her. Now, you may be lacking some diligence in that area. You may be lacking some diligence in your physical body, but you don't have to get sick. You don't have to have your pants not fit. You don't have to see some other girl in a bathing suit. Sorry, I always get phone calls. Like, who could be calling me? Maybe I can text them next time I go live so that they don't, but it's okay. We'll call you back. Sorry, sir. So you can create the pain of missing out. The first thing you have to do is you have to align the values that you move away from and the ones you move towards. Again, if I had a fear of failure, it doesn't matter how much I want success. I'm going to stay away from pain. So when I changed my mind about failure and I decided that it was part of success, create success, required for success, actually must happen to get what I want, well, now that gives me a different conversation in my mind around fear, right? So that's the first thing, is really look at what are you avoiding? What are you hiding from? What do you not want to be? What do you not want? What would embarrass you? Then you create pain associated with not having what you want. Do you know how much this is the question. Who loses if you don't win? When you can ask yourself that question, and you can really fight, because we'll always do more for other people than we will ourselves. Fight for your children. I don't care if your marriage is very challenging right now. The truth is that you can only control yourself. Know that you've given your best. Are you really honoring that person with all of your heart, all of your body, all of your soul, all of your mind, all of it? And what happens to the children? What happens to the finances? What happens to the potential? What happens to your heart? What happens to the rest of your life when you're going through all that? I would rather you and your family have your wealth than the divorce lawyers, wouldn't you? So you have to start making those decisions about what pain comes from you not getting your success. What pain comes from you not having what you want. For me, I think about all the starving children who are never going to be saved. Literally, I think about the people who are depressed and settling for $50,000 or $100,000 a year, breaking their freaking back, when the truth is they can just go and get it. They just don't know how. And they're depressed, and the pressure of finances is hurting their family, is hurting their health, is hurting their future, and then they retire dead or dead broke with children who won't talk to them because they've sacrificed their whole freaking life to go to work and pay bills instead of making memories and creating a bonding relationship, and so now they just don't know their kids, and they end up dying lonely and broke. And that is unacceptable. And there are little girls in India that literally get sold for $300 because it's either that or their family starves to death. And you know what? I will wake up every day to go and fight for those things. And you can hear it in my voice. There's a lot of pain associated with me not getting that. Why? Because it's uncomfortable? Because it's going to be hard? No, it's not going to be hard. It's going to be really worth it. So I fight for the people who lose if I don't win. And that really gives me the pain associated with not going to work, not getting it done, not doing what I need to do. And I also know that I can't have that unless I take good care of my body, I take good care of my energy, I take good care of my mind, I take good care of myself, right? So it actually motivates me to do all the things that will help me get where I want to go as well. I'm not going to sacrifice my health, my family, my relationships, my mental health for the goal, because it's actually required, because they go hand in hand, and now everything's aligned, and that's when miracles happen. So I just want to say that if you're beating yourself up, it's out of a place of creating intensity, and your pattern has been to create pressure. You have to beat yourself up, or you have to have pain in your current setting in order to create excellence. The truth is, you have excellence inside of you. You have diligence inside of you. You can tap into that. You just have to associate pain with not doing what you need to do. You just have to associate pain with not getting the good. And you have to marry your pain pleasure stuff so that you're, all things line up. That's really the key. And I know that we're really good at justifying what we're doing based on what everyone else is doing because we think that what everyone else is doing is acceptable or okay or whatever. But if it's not satisfying, like if you don't feel good about it and if you're beating yourself up, just know it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what's enough for anybody else. It doesn't matter what's good for anybody else. It doesn't matter what's working for anybody else. The truth is that internal talk is not helpful. And you need to be your own best friend. And the way that you can do that is admit your mistakes, associate pain with not doing what you need to do, and then creating massive action. Get out of your head. Stop it. It's not the helpful place to be. Literally nothing gets done. They say that if you want your dreams to come true, you must first wake up. So with that, happy Monday. Go after it. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what happened last week. Don't worry about any clients that canceled or calls you didn't do or situations you said you were going to do and then didn't. Don't worry about broken promises. Don't worry about the missed appointments. They were yesterday. They're not for today. And they're not worth beating yourself up over. And you are meant for the things that are inside of you. You are meant to go and be, do, and have whatever it is that you're chasing after. And it's okay. Perfection is not the process. It's physically impossible. If you're learning to dream again, if you are dreaming today and now, then good. And just like you're not going to beat up a toddler that's learning how to walk, or think about potty training. Like, think about that. How much grace did your mom have with you? Like a lot. It's like, we need to have the same kind of grace like with ourselves because you need to be your own best friend. Give yourself some grace and then step up. Go for it. And realize that there's more pain in not doing it than there is in doing it. And you are supposed to mess up. It means you're stretching. If you're getting everything totally perfect, it means you're not doing anything worthwhile. So with that, I just want to say you got it. You get it. Last week is last week. You can and will show up more and bigger and better this week. And you'll see the fruit of that. And it'll take 90 days. It'll take 6 months. It takes time for seeds to germinate, but you will see the fruit, and the fruit will be so delicious. And I highly, highly, highly recommend making those adjustments because it really is amazing what can happen when you become your own best friend. So with that, happy Monday. Let's go get it.